everybody, I'm Brian Reese with WhiteMetalGames. This is building blocks. It's been a little bit over an hour. They gave us time to let the Gorilla Glue that was holding the rock foam pieces down. That's fully cured now, so we can go back and snip off all of the bamboo skewers, toothpicks that are holding it into place. And then we'll add a layer of spackle over that. It's going to take probably a full day for this to cure after that, before we can add any more texture. So I'm just using normal spruce snips, plastic spruce snips. These are good up until you start cutting really thick wooden dowels. These will break at that point. These are fine for toothpicks though. I use wire cutters once I start doing really big, thick wooden dowels. Like heavy duty wire cutters. So you could leave all the toothpicks and everything in there. Just makes it stronger. But as you can see, now it's got all these little holes all over the rocks. So we're going to cover those up. As well as any crevices that look kind of weird, like down in here. We're going to smooth that out a little bit, make it look more like one piece of rock. There's also, you can see where the layers of foam were. There's like a seam there. Which right now we can see it, I could even feel it with my finger, but I want to pay close attention to that when I'm using the spackle. So I could try and make it look like it's all just one piece. Alright, so we got our spackle out. And I'm not using the spackle knife at all, the putty knife at all. I'm just going to use my fingers here. And in this case, we're not going for smooth at all. We want it to look rough still. We just don't want any holes. We don't want any weird crevices. We want it to look like one piece of rock. So you don't need a lot of spackle. You can spread around quite a bit with your finger. And if it still doesn't look quite the shape you want to after this, you can still cut away more foam when you're done, or add another layer of spackle, or add more foam. Like I said, it's a very organic process, so don't get upset if it's not looking right just yet. On larger cliff faces and stuff, sometimes I use like a plastic spoon or like a little teaspoon. Just kind of scoop the spackle down in there. Now I want to make sure I get all those little toothpick holes, I get all the crevices. Anything that makes it look like multiple pieces of foam. I want it to look like one piece, and then we'll make it look like a rock from there. If I rough up some of the slope texture before, cool. Work with the mistakes you make. You're not going to make a perfect piece. You want to make mistakes. You want it to look organic. So even if there's a flat piece of rock that we don't think needs a lot of spackle, maybe just put a little touch of spackle over it, just for a little bit of texture maybe. Once you sand this or rough it up a little bit, priming it a dark color and then dry brushing it by itself looks really good. We're also going to crush it with our favorite parking lot rock later. And once we do that, we're going to add some gravel around the edges, some smaller rocks to make it look even more organic. So as we go, we just add layers and layers and layers. Each layer we add fixes the mistakes from the last layer, and we just go from there. And after maybe 12 layers of detail and spackle or sanding or whatever, it starts to really look like something. Now another thing you could do from here, once the spackle's on here, I'm not going to use it on this piece, but say if you're doing more of a rounded rock, something that gets, you know, weathered by ocean waves or rivers or something, right? You could actually make a paste out of the spackle. You can do like 50-50 water and spackle and just kind of brush it over, and it adds kind of a smoother, rounder texture to it. I've actually done that for dead coral reefs before, like a coral rock on a beach. Looks pretty good like that. You can take a wet sponge and kind of dab over it the same way you do like on ceilings, popcorn ceilings. Looks terrible on ceilings, but looks pretty good on terrain. I'm liking the look of that. So let me just double check before I put all this away, because there's always a toothpick hole somewhere I missed. And you watch, even now, as we're doing this video, I'm gonna say, okay, that's all of it. And then the next time we start filming, I'm gonna find another spot I missed. But I'm fairly certain I got all the toothpick holes. Maybe you could do a once over with me real quick. I don't see any. And while I've got the spackle out, let's see if there's any spots I should fix real quick. That slope's a little weird right there. So I can see a few gaps between the MDF and the foam here, so I just want to fill all those in. There we go. Alright guys, I'm pretty happy with that. We're gonna let this cure, and then the next time we come back, we're gonna sand these slopes, and I'm gonna bash the rock with a real rock, and add some gravel and different textures from there. So yeah, thanks for tuning in to Building Blocks. We'll see you on the next session once this is all dry.